Hey guys, Frank here. This is my 2012 Ram Cummins Laramie Mega Cab. I do a lot of towing, but I do towing with it. I tow in the summertime a 35-foot camper off the hitch. I don't have it on the fifth wheel, and my wife gave me the go-ahead for the new year. Every time the tax return comes, I said I want to do some stuff with my truck. So what I ended up doing was I bought the front hitch. Here it is right here. I put the front hitch on yesterday. As you can see it, I put the boot in it. Okay, I put the front in it. It works great. I put the bikes on it sometimes. Sometimes I even put the rack on it. Put some wood on it when I'm traveling. This year we're taking a little Myrtle Beach trip and coming up from the northwest, heading down to Myrtle Beach, and we're probably going to Pennsylvania and stuff. So that's pretty good. It works out well for us. I installed the EGT probe. And I actually installed the EGT gauge, the boost, and the air pressure on the pillar. I got all that stuff from glowshift. Those guys over there are fantastic. They just give you a ring and they talk to you and they walk you through some stuff if you're not sure what to do. And then everything comes up and running well. So I'll kind of give you a roundabout of what I did. I'm standing here with the camera at the motor because I want to just poke you in there and show you exactly what I did. The first thing I did was took a 5/16 drill bit and drilled into the manifold where the boost gauge is. There's the boost gauge. The EGT probe. I put the EGT probe right here. It's a tap down into the manifold right at the Y, just before the turbo. I did exactly what they told me to do. I took the shop vac. I took the magnet to it to get out the shavings. The wire comes up like this, and my personal preference, I kept it up over the top of the motor mount, down under the plastic cover. That was easy to remove, and I brought it down to the front of the cab. You can still see the gauge wire going here, the gauge wire coming here, and then being anal like I am, I ended up coming around the front of the motor here and wiring it down up over the harness onto the top. So with that, then I took the boost bolt, and the boost bolt comes out here. Now remind you, this is a 6.7 Cummins 2012, so for guys who are doing that, this is pretty easy. Again, contacted glowshift for the gauges, and I said, where do we put the boost bolt? And they recommended the inside bolt close to the manifold right there. It goes close to the head that goes across. So that's what I did. I took the bolt out. It took 10 seconds to put this bolt in here. I routed it up again. You can see it coming up across the top of the motor here. There's another wire, and it goes down around here, and then right past this big reel of big ass hose right here, because this is the air pressure hose that's going to read my tank. I bought the Viair Ultra Duty onboard air system too, so that's going to go on the frame rail, and I'll make another video of that when I get done with that. But right now, finally getting the weather to break here in the Northeast, and I can actually see my front lawn. So for now, we'll be hanging out, and I'll show you what to do here. Again, the wires come through here. This is the EGT probe wire. Comes down the loom like this, goes down, and we used the harness. Let me see if I can get it. See the wires down there at the bottom, all those wires down there? We actually used that harness that goes into the firewall. All I did was probe through there, and every wire, one at a time. This monster friggin' tube right here, 1/4 inch right through there. The 3 wires I went through, all that stuff actually was pulled through the firewall. Then they told you to do the adder circuit, where you would pull this out and put a new circuit in there, and then I really didn't want the wires like running all over the top of the wire of the fuse panel, so I didn't opt to do the adder circuit option. What I did opt to do is I took power off this pole here and I ran it down. Now I don't need this anymore. It goes down here like this, and it comes right here. It splits off to this waterproof fuse right here that I connected. Now this waterproof fuse then comes up, it then into the fuse, and then back down again, and it runs back into that wire harness again. So it was real easy. There wasn't really any problem. It took the most time it took was to get that boost bolt, get that EGT probe put in there. That EGT probe was tough, man. So again, I came down underneath, and I came down through the harness here, if you can see it, in through the harness. I came up, I came out here like this. I'm a big guy with loom. I love loom for some reason. I put, you're gonna have hard to see it, but I put another piece of loom here. So There's another piece of loom that runs through here. There's another piece of loom, you can see it dangling in the dashboard here. There's another piece of loom dangling here that goes across. Now, guys had asked me what I used for power, so I'll tell you. The light switch pops out pretty easy. It's a little light switch like this. I popped it out right in my hands. I turned it upside down. I put the key in the ignition. I probed the orange and white wire is the part-time fuse, is the part-time power off the, stand by me, I got a helicopter coming. So it's the part-time power. The wire is part-time power, so I used that wire for the orange gauges. So for the orange wire off the gauges, off the gauge pillar, for switch power, which means it would lower and dim every time I turn the lights on. Then I used the DC power here again for part-time power. They called for part-time, which is on the key. They called for light switch power, which dims the lights when the lights go on, so they go on automatically. And I used full-time power off that lead on the inside of the truck. So the pellet pod was easy to put in. The wires just came up out of the loom. They came out of the top, and they were wiring out on the side of the dashboard. And all I did was zip them together. I'm not a pro at the wiring part. It took me a little while to get it together. It took me about 6 hours to wire these 3 pods up. So the hardest part was the EGT probe. But I'll see if I can get the video for you when I get the Buyer Ultra Duty. I have all those parts and crap in the back of my truck because I got nothing to do. I don't want my kids like taking them and losing them. So we fire it up. We hit the wheel. The gauges. The flickering of the lights is the camera. It has nothing to do with the. It has nothing to do with the light itself. So the EGT probe works good. As soon as I fire it up, the thing starts moving. I mean, she's hot, so when she's running, the boost bolt works fine. Boost bolt works fine. You can see the boost moving a little bit. I'm not really laying on it. And then the air pressure gauge. The air pressure gauge there too works well too. That's that big fat wire that's going to run underneath to give me air pressure for my train horns and all the rest of that. Okay, so other than that, man, thanks for watching the video, and maybe I'll see you next time when I put the video on for the Buyer Ultra Duty. I'll give you guys a heads up. Again, 2012 Ram Cummins. Enjoy the summertime.